Hello everyone, welcome to the IAS Mentor Modern Indian History series. Before starting the class, one announcement for you. We are coming up with a proper schedule related to mentorship program, which will help you to crack 2026 preliminary examination. For further details, please keep following the IAS Mentor channel. We are in the British Conquest of India, second chapter. So far, we have seen how the Carnatic region was conquered by the British, how Bengal region was also conquered by the British. Now we are moving to another region, that is Mysore region. This was the kingdom. You will get many prelims facts here. And also always we have to keep connecting the dots, what is happening not only in Mysore but in other parts also. That practice already we started in the previous class, that is in the Bengal conquest. Same practice we have to do here. That is why whenever you are studying modern Indian history, always try to see the story in a holistic manner. If something happens in Mysore, some other development might have taken place in other part of the world, other part of India. That is how UPSC is connecting the questions. This is Mysore kingdom. This kingdom, the roots of this kingdom goes to Vijayanagara Empire. I am going to draw different timelines. These timelines are very important. These are chronological order you have to remember. It's like a narration. Then you will be able to understand why British are showing so much interest in Mysore. When it comes to Mysore, this is a prelims question. Mysore kingdom did not emerge out of Mughal Empire. Suppose Bengal kingdom emerged out of Mughal Empire. Hyderabad state emerged out of Mughal Empire. But when it comes to Mysore, it emerged out of Vijayanagara Empire. When Vasco da Gama came to India in 1498, this is the time period Vasco da Gama. At this particular point of time, Vijayanagara Empire was the most powerful empire in Indian history itself at that particular point of time, because Delhi Sultanate was disintegrating. Delhi Sultanate itself disintegrated into multiple pieces. Neighboring kingdom or neighboring empire, Bahmani kingdom is about to disintegrate into different kingdoms. They are called Deccan Sultanates. That is why when Portuguese came, when Portuguese captured Goa, Goa was captured from which kingdom? Bijapur kingdom. Remember this. Another prelims question. Each and everything is a prelims related question. Vasco da Gama came. Vijayanagara Empire was powerful one. When Portuguese captured Goa in 1510, empire was under Sri Krishna Devaraya. As long as Sri Krishna Devaraya was there, Vijayanagara Empire reached its peak stage in terms of its power, in terms of cultural patronage. After his exit, then power struggle, then the Deccan Sultanates joined hands and they declared war on Vijayanagara Empire. It led to its collapse. In 1565, in the battle called Battle of Tallikot, Vijayanagara Empire was defeated by an alliance of Deccan Sultanates. Now, the empire disintegrated. The empire's territories were shared by Deccan Sultanates. Some were shared by Deccan Sultanates, that means victors shared the spoils of the war. Some territories were under the feudatories of Vijayanagara Empire. They started declaring themselves as independent. Naturally, when central government is weak, regional kingdoms automatically become independent. That is why in 1600s, Mysore kingdom emerged. Dynasty which established this independent kingdom was Wadayar dynasty. Wadayar dynasty in Mysore kingdom. Some remnants of Vijayanagara power and reached Chandragiri region in Madras region. That is where Madras was taken from one of the local ruler of Vijayanagara kingdom only. In 1630s, Madras settlement was granted to East India Company by one of the local ruler of Vijayanagara only. So that shows Vijayanagara's centralized kingdom now vanished. Hampi collapsed. Hampi is the capital. Regional kingdoms emerged. Mysore kingdom has its origin like this. Now in 1600s, this is the same time period. East India Company was establishing its factories. Its factories in Surat, then Madras, then by 1690 Calcutta also. In 1600s they are establishing. In same 1600s, Mysore kingdom also trying to establish its presence. This was going on in 1600s. Now, by 1700, the situation is like this. In 1707, or let me give, in 1674, Maratha kingdom was established. An independent Maratha kingdom was established in 1674. You are familiar, you are familiar with the founder of Maratha kingdom. Who is he? Chhatrapati Shivaji. Chhatrapati Shivaji. He was fighting with different sultanates and Mughals also. He established his independent kingdom. He took the title Chhatrapati. In 1680, Chhatrapati Shivaji died. Shivaji died. Now, under the leadership of his son, Shivaji's son, Shambhaji, the fight continued. He wanted to expand some more territories, but he was captured by Aurangzeb and he was executed. Now, meanwhile, Aurangzeb, in order to solve the Maratha problem, he wanted to annihilate Bijapur and Golconda. Bijapur, Golconda kingdoms were annihilated. That means completely captured by Aurangzeb in order to control Maratha Sardars or Maratha problem. But after capturing them, he got the real problem. It resulted in his downfall. In 1707, Aurangzeb died. While fighting with Marathas only, he died. In Aurangabad district, that is where his tomb also located today. Aurangzeb died. Now, after this, in Delhi, power struggle started. Delhi is becoming weak. Even during this time period also, when these things are developing, Mysore kingdom tried to have its own existence. By 1720s, now the Maratha kingdom continued to expand during Aurangzeb time period itself. It survived. After Aurangzeb death, you can imagine what kind of progress they would have made. But not under Chhatrapati. Chhatrapati means ruler. Not under Chhatrapati, it started increasing the power, but under Peshwa, Prime Minister of Maratha Empire. The title called Peshwa. Under the leadership of Peshwas, from 1920s onwards, Maratha Empire was expanding. Come back to Mysore. Because to understand Mysore British conquest, we have to know how Hyderabad established and how Maratha also established, because this is the equation. The British and Mysore are going to continuously fight with the surroundings, Marathas and Nizam. This is the one. Now identify this. Marathas are continuously expanding in 1720s. Now in 1724, what happened? Nizamul Mulk established Hyderabad state. Mysore emerged from Vijayanagara kingdom, trying to establish its existence. Meanwhile, new powers like Marathas and Nizam established. Everyone wants to expand their territories. That is why Marathas used to expand their territories towards this. Whenever Marathas require resources, they used to attack the neighboring kingdoms and they used to get spoils of the war. When Nizam wanted to expand his territories, he used to go and attack Mysore. Identify, this is the circumstance in which now when continuously wars and battles are happening, generally which department is going to get more power? Military department. Now the military department gained a lot of importance because continuously invasions are taking place. Now someone have to protect, that is the military. That military is now taking interest even in the politics. That means a ruler also now forced to listen what military is saying, because ruler has to depend on military only. If ruler is very strong, then a ruler will take care of the military also. He mobilize the military and he mobilize the army and he declare war and he declare treaties and everything. But if rulers are weak, then whoever is controlling military, they are going to become powerful, and danger is there. Even the rulers also may become puppets in their hands. Exactly what happened in case of Marathas also. Maratha kingdom, for namesake, ruler is called Chhatrapati. But in the continuous wars and battles time period, military is going to become very, very powerful. That military is now leading by Peshwa. That is why Peshwa has become so powerful. Now Peshwa is deciding who will become Chhatrapati. Whoever Peshwa supports, then he will become Chhatrapati. That kind of equation is emerging now. This is what entered here. That is the reason by 1760s, now already by this time you know Battle of Buxar took place. In Battle of Buxar, Mughal emperor also participated. What he is doing in Lucknow, what he is doing in Awadh region. He was supposed to stay in Delhi. Rather, what he is doing in Awadh means he is afraid of his own ministers in Delhi. Do you see this? That's where what lesson we can learn for the present day context also. If there is a continuous wars and battle, if there is continuous wars, then military becomes so powerful, they even decide the politics also. That is why military rule means military and aggression go together. If something happens in our neighborhood like Pakistan or in Myanmar, anywhere, wherever military coup takes place, if military comes to power, then military aggressions will be there, wars will take place. That's what exactly happened in Kargil war also. So do you see how we have to correlate present times with the previous times? This is how we have to learn lesson. Here also, Peshwas are becoming powerful. Ministers in Delhi also becoming powerful. Here also, military is becoming powerful. In this circumstance, in this circumstance, in 1760s, a military leader called Hyder Ali, he became very powerful. He involved in the politics, and after some time, he started taking the decisions. Now, Wadayar dynasty became, you can consider, puppet. Whoever may be the ruler, Wadayar dynasty ruler is not, in reality, not powerful. In theory, they are the one. But for all practical purposes, Hyder Ali is ruling Mysore. This is what the circumstances in which Hyder Ali became very, very powerful. Now, in 1760s, by 1760s, what is the equation? The conditions have changed. Why Hyder Ali became powerful means, under his leadership, he was protecting Mysore from Maratharites and also Nizam expansion. That's what already we have seen. Nizam and Marathas both wanted to expand their territories. Whoever protect this kingdom, he is going to become powerful. Hyder Ali was leading the military. Now that is why he became powerful. Now he started taking care of Mysore kingdom. But now to the equation of Marathas and Nizam, there is one more power. They are emerging now. Let me draw the map. Then it will be very clear. Multiple things are happening across India parallelly. That is why the more you understand what is happening in Bengal, what is happening in Delhi, what is happening in Mysore, what is happening in Madras at a time, that is where your real depth of understanding will emerge. Let me draw the map. It becomes very easy to understand what is happening in different places. This is how. Now, in 1757, what happened here? Battle of Plassey. Here, like some military generals are making rulers as puppet, here East India Company got advantage. East India Company also now joined this game. Now East India Company is becoming powerful. Mir Jafar was made as ruler by overthrowing who? Sirajuddaulah. Next, in 1764, Battle of Buxar took place. With the Battle of Buxar, now Mughal Emperor himself was defeated. Now Mughal Emperor was forced to give them a revenue department. Diwani rights East India Company got. Already Bengal is very rich region. Just for trading purpose they came to Calcutta. For that, with that trade itself they are becoming rich. Farooq Siyar has given farman where they can use the dastaks for free movement of the goods. With that provision itself they are becoming very powerful. Now you imagine what is going to happen to East India Company if they are controlling the revenue department of Bengal itself. Not only Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, they got Diwani rights. You imagine how powerful East India Company is going to become. That's what happened in 1765 with the Treaty of Allahabad. Remember, these treaties are going to come very important from the prelims point of view. When it comes to mains, you have to look always, because mains questions are very dynamic. Unless you look at this picture at macro level and unless you connect various dots in different places, you cannot give very multi-dimensional answer in the mains. In 1765, Treaty of Allahabad was signed between East India Company and Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. With this, they got Diwani rights. Now, simply, East India Company is becoming rich. Simple. But here also one problem is emerging. Even though East India Company is becoming rich, theoretically that is supposed to get a lot of resources. They must give their shareholders a lot of resources in London. But a reverse trend happened. East India Company filed bankruptcy and it wanted a loan. Not bankruptcy. It filed a loan. Now, when it filed a loan, if government do not bail out that, then it can file bankruptcy also. What is happening here? This much powerful kingdom now in the hands of East India Company, but where the money has gone? This money has taken by the officials only. It did not reach the treasury of East India Company. It was utilized by people like Robert Clive. Identify this. Now, different people are also coming, different treaties are coming. Robert Clive. Now, with this riches, they want to conquer remaining territories also. That is why I am setting the stage that what is the status of Mysore, in which circumstances it is rising, but what is the trend in India at that particular point of time. If Indian rulers are not following these developments, they are going to become victim of this. That is why if we are unaware of what is happening in Pakistan, if we are unaware of what is happening in Central Asia, then tomorrow we are going to become the victims of it. That's why foreign relations are very important. We have to know what is happening in our surroundings. Otherwise, we cannot think that whatever happens in our neighborhood, we need not to worry. That kind of attitude should not be there, because our history has taught us if we are ignorant of developments that are taking place in our own neighborhood, then today they are the victims, tomorrow we are the victims. This is what happening here. Now, Hyder Ali is this is what exactly Hyder Ali, he was very much aware of what is happening here. Already by 1760s, in this location, what has happened? In this location, Carnatic Wars. Here, Carnatic Wars between French versus English. What is the time period? In from 1740s to 1763. During this time period, French and English people were fighting here. Finally, English became victorious here. Here also, East India Company became victorious. By 1760s, this region also now under East India Company. This region also come under East India Company. Real power is in their hands, but theoretically, local rulers will be there. Here, Arcot Nawab. Arcot Nawab, in theory, he will be there, but power will be in their hands. Here, Bengal Nawab will be there, but power will be in British hands. Now, by 1760s, East India Company made a treaty with Nizam also. What is the reason for Second Carnatic War? One of the reasons for Second Carnatic War is power struggle in Hyderabad, power struggle in Arcot. Now, their contenders became successful. Now, naturally, they are going to get concessions from them also. Nizam signed an agreement with the East India Company and even given this territory also to East India Company. This region is also called Northern Sarkars, 1760s. Why Nizam gave this territory to East India Company? Because East India Company helped the Nizam to become the ruler. That is how when opposition party get the support from any foreign country, say like China, USA, Europe, if opposition party comes to power, then they are going to have good relations with these countries. But that is anti-national. But the opposition party may get the benefit, and also the people who supported opposition party will get the benefits out of it. That's what USA is doing. USA, with its deep state network, they are going to change the governments itself, and whoever become the next prime minister, next president, and they are going to give a lot of concessions to America. That's what exactly happened in our lifetime. Those were the things developed. And American politics just a successor to East India Company or British Empire only. In fact, after Second World War, British Empire just handed over the assets and knowledge and experience of British Empire to America. So Americans consider they are the successors to British Empire only. This is what we are studying now. That's why do you see how we are still living in the history means this only. The history, the narration, whatever happened, it did not complete. It's still running even today also. Similar kind of politics are running now also. East India Company. Now, East India Company, in return, now one contender is there. He is gone. one person became the head of Nizam. He became the head of the state. Now, from whom this Nizam can get the threats now? The threats will come from this side, Marathas. This side from Mysore. Neighboring kingdoms. If Pakistan make an agreement with China, what is the fear of Pakistan? It fears that India may do something. That is why, exactly, that is how it used to happen now. Nizam is afraid of Maratha rights because Marathas are trying continuously expanding. Continuous conflicts used to happen in the border areas. Here also, Nizam and Mysore continuous conflicts are happening. That is why Nizam signed an agreement with the East India Company that you take this land. As a result, what East India Company will get the benefit? From Bengal to southern tip, continuously they can control. They have taken this. That's the strategic resource means this only. They got this. Nizam get assurance that he is going to get support of East India Company from Maratha attack and Mysore attacks. This is where exactly the conflict is emerging between Mysore and East India Company. Remember this. Direct conflict between Mysore and English East India Company is not going to emerge because of all these calculations that conflict is emerging. Now, Hyder Ali has witnessed Carnatic wars. What Hyder Ali is doing? He understood the European model of military system. He understood the game that French people, English people are continuously winning over Indian rulers because they are advanced in military. That's why European model he followed. He even established a factory called an arsenal factory in a place called Dindigal. It is present day Tamil Nadu region. That was part of his empire, his kingdom. He established even a factory also called Dindigal in a place called Dindigal. When it comes to French and English, French people are more reliable than English people. That's why he took the help of French and he even trained his military also on the model of French. That is why Mysore and French people are going to have good relations. After Hyder Ali, his son Tipu Sultan also maintained good relations with the French people. But when it comes to British, enmity relationship. Now, when this is happening, Hyder Ali is also imperialistic ambition. Imperialistic means he also wanted to build empire. So, this is the age of empire building. Whatever you have that is not sufficient, you have to expand. That is the state policy. So, that means Marathas also wanted to expand, Nizam also wanted to expand, Mysore also wanted to expand, and ultimately what is happening? Then conflicts only. Now, it's like a chess game. Whoever is having more power, they are going to attack the others and they are going to get the territories. This is the circumstance and this is the atmosphere in which Mysore and English East India Company wars are going to happen. Anglo-Mysore wars. Let me. Anglo-Mysore wars. See this? Total there were 4 wars. 4 times war took place. First Anglo-Mysore War, Second Anglo-Mysore War, Third Anglo-Mysore and Fourth Anglo-Mysore War. Now I will draw one by one. Now you already know why Europeans wanted to interfere in the Indian affairs because they have their commercial interests. They have their own strategic interest. Already we have understood during Carnatic Wars. Same reasons you apply here also. Why European companies wanted control over Indian territory. Now in this context, Mysore. Mysore is very rich in spices, in silk, in textiles, commercial interests. It is also having a strategic interest because East India Company should support Nizam. Then only Nizam will give concessions to East India Company. As a result, what happened? If Nizam enemy is Mysore, East India Company also should consider Mysore as their enemy. Do you see how the equation is happening? This is where exactly equation is changing. In 1761, something happened here. In 1761, Marathas were defeated in the Battle of Panipat. This is third Battle of Panipat. In 1761, Marathas were defeated in third Battle of Panipat. This battle took place between Afghans. Afghans were invading this side. This is the age of complete chaos. Nadir Shah invaded, Afghan invasion. Afghans invaded this area. In 1761, third Battle of Panipat happened. Marathas were defeated. When Marathas were in weak position, Hyder Ali wanted to build his strong empire. But after some time, in 1760s, Marathas wanted to revive their strength and wanted to prove that they are still supreme, and they used to attack Nizam and Mysore. So do you see how the power game is going on? This is where East India Company and Mysore wars started. First one. First Anglo-Mysore war. When it comes to first Anglo-Mysore war, in which year? The year is 1767-1769. During this time period, when Mysore is gradually becoming powerful, Marathas, Nizam, and British on one side. Already I explained why they are on one side. Nizam and British on one side, I already explained. They had a treaty. Already British are involving in the Nizam politics. They are friends. Now Marathas also joined with them because Marathas wanted to prove their strength, that they are not weak after third battle of Panipat. They want to prove. Versus Mysore. Could you say this? Now how it is happening? When these three powers joined hands to defeat Mysore and share what they wanted. They want Mysore territories. Hyder Ali want their territories, Marathas want their territories, Nizam want their territories, British just taking advantage of the disunity among the Indians. Territories. Now he understood Hyder Ali attacked British. Fight was going on, but he defeated even British also by capturing Madras. East India Company was in panic. In 1769, a treaty was made that is known as Treaty of Madras. Now, with the Treaty of Madras, what is the provision? Simple. British now jumping this side because it is their survival. And now, as part of the treaty, Mysore imposed on them that you should not be part of this group. And if I go to war with any of them, you should support me. So Mysore is asking, or Hyder Ali is asking simply, like you are supporting Nizam, like you are supporting Marathas, you should support me when I am going to fight with Marathas and Nizam. Now, what is going to be the outcome? What is going to be the decision of British? Can you guess? Do they say that no, I am friend of these two, I will not be friend of you? Will they say, or will they jump? It is their survival. They jumped. Yes, it is part of treaty. Yes, we will be part of you. When you attack or when they attack you, we will support you. That's what. Did they do? British were very good in diplomacy. They are very good when they are about to defeat, when they are about to be defeated, they will play the politics of diplomacy by saying that we are surrendering. They will take some time to regain their strength and they declare the war on the same person. Exactly, that is what is going to happen. At this point of time, Mysore is stronger. And Mysore, why Mysore is stronger? He is already improving his army also. He already learned the techniques from French people. As a result, he is now giving equal competition with the East India Company. He was able to almost create panic in Madras and Madras surrendered. A treaty of Madras was also signed. Now, after some time, they are not going to fulfill that promise. This is what, when Mysore and Nizam were creating trouble for Mysore, when Mysore wanted help from East India Company, they denied the help. As a result, they have broken the promise. As a result, it led to Second Anglo-Mysore War. Now, do you see? Our story revolves around Marathas, Nizam, East India Company, and Mysore. That is why I have clearly explained what was happening in different places at this point of time. When it comes to East India Company, already by 1760s, they were already running the show in Bengal. They were controlling Carnatic region. They were controlling northern Sarkars. They felt that when we are this much powerful, we should have upper hand in Indian politics. That is where gradually they are going to play politics. They don't want to give any chance to local rulers whenever it comes to their interests. That led to Second Anglo-Mysore War. Second Anglo-Mysore War, what is the time period? This time period is 1780, 84. This time period. Now, like they were having, East India Company is having relationship with them. They were having relationship with some kingdoms in the Malabar region also. Why? Because this side also their settlements are there. Surat, they are having a settlement. Bombay, they are having settlement. In Travancore region, they have a settlement. At the same time, here French settlement is also there. Mahi, Pondicherry, Yanam, Karaikal and Mahi. This side also. This is where you have to remember when it comes to Second Anglo-Mysore War. Like they are interfering here in controlling Mysore, East India Company started playing politics here also to check Mysore expansionist policies. Again, as I said, every kingdom wants to expand their kingdoms. Hyder Ali also wanted to expand his kingdom. When he wanted to expand his kingdom towards this side, their allies are there. When Mysore wanted to expand his kingdom in this side, they are going to be affected. That is why East India Company started playing politics this side also. As a result, what happened? Second Anglo-Mysore War started in 1780 and 84. The factors were, number one, 1769, Treaty of Madras. What is Treaty of Madras? Whenever there is a conflict between Marathas, Nizam and Mysore, Mysore should get the support from the British. But they have broken this promise. Second one, East India Company involving in Malabar politics. Malabar politics. Hyder Ali clearly know by this time period in Bengal what is happening. In Bengal, famine took place in 1770s. 1/3 of the population perished. They started exploitation in Bengal. Mysore is having their own networks, spy networks to know what is happening in Bengal, what is happening in Carnatic region. That's why he don't want to give any chance to East India Company that if Mysore also come under them, again this is going to be the fate of Mysore. And he himself wanted to expand and he himself wanted to become powerful. East India Company involving in Malabar politics, that another irritation, he wanted to punish East India Company. He played a master stroke by bringing, identify this one. Here in this case, Marathas, Nizam, British on one team, Mysore is another team. He tried to break British to his side. It did not come. Now, Hyder Ali tried to bring Marathas only, Nizam also to his side. This is one of the last chances for Indian rulers to oust East India Company from the Indian politics. Powerful people came together. It was supposed to oust British, but the British were very good in diplomacy. They have broken Nizam and Marathas from Mysore side. But Hyder Ali tried his best. Mysore. Hyder Ali tried his best to bring Nizam plus Marathas together as Indian rulers. They convinced that already British started interfering in Bengal politics and Bengal condition is like this. If British involve in our kingdoms also, our condition is also will be like this. That's why let us punish British and let us make British only confined to commercial activities, not to the politics. He tried, but Britishers were very good in diplomacy. They have broken this alliance. That's why once again, British, Nizam, Marathas on one side and Hyder Ali on the other side. The war continued for 4 years. From 1782 2 years, Hyder Ali did it. In 1782, he died out of illness. After him, his son Tipu Sultan continued. Tipu Sultan continued. But it was like continuously war is going on. No one is able to win. That's why they made a treaty called Treaty of Mangalore. With this, they both came together that they both came to understanding that let us not fight, let us restrict to the pre-war position, status quo. That means whatever was there in 1784, that means whatever territories I conquered, I am giving it to you. Whatever territories you conquer, you give it to me. If my prisoners are there with you, you exchange. So in that way, prisoners exchanged, territories exchanged, status quo maintained. Tipu Sultan. Now, both Tipu Sultan is very clear and East India Company is very clear that both are now equally powerful. They need time to improve their strength to further fight. That is what from 1784 onwards, Tipu Sultan started improving his strength. What he has done? Again, military. He improved with the help of French people. He trained his army. In France, in 1789, French Revolution took place. Jacobin Club became very active during French Revolution time period. The French soldiers in India also, they established a Jacobean club. Tipu Sultan also became member of this Jacobin club. And he felt that he told, I am citizen Tipu. Citizen Tipu. This is showing that he is well aware of what is happening in Europe, what is happening in Arabia, what is happening in India. That's why he is considered as one of the enlightened despot, or you can call he was enlightened person, but at the same time very cruel also, despot also. Despot means if someone question his authority, he is going to massacre them. But as long as the people obey him, then he is going to rule in wise manner. That's what Jacobin Club, Citizen Tipu. This shows he is very much alert to what is happening in other part, what is happening to the enemies of East India Company. He is trying to make a benefit out of that enmity. Military he strengthened. Even he is considered as a pioneer. Tipu Sultan is considered as a pioneer in bringing rocket technology to India. That's how his contribution to military. He is simply improving his strength. Second one, economic strength also. He even planned to create like East India Company. Like somewhere in Europe, someone formed a company and they are doing business in India. Like that, he also planned to create one company if in Mysore, let it go outside and do business outside. In this manner, he also planned. He improved silk silk industry, textile industry, steel industry, agriculture also. Everything he improved. Even British administrators also used to praise Tipu Sultan's administration in economic dimension. One British administrator, when he was passing, he has witnessed that very strong agrarian sector, farming, agriculture is very strong. Farmers are relatively well off in comparison with East India Company administrative areas. Then he felt that Tipu Sultan is administering very well with respect to economic strength. That is where military as well as economic strength he is improving, so that whenever conflict will come with East India Company, he wants to defeat. Meanwhile, the British side, in 1783, British lost American colonies. In America, they lost American colonies. Cornwallis was the military general and he was surrendered. He was surrendered to American forces there. He was sent to India. Lord Cornwallis came to India. In 1790s, he was Governor General of Bengal. When he came to India, he don't want to repeat the same mistake there. He don't want to give any chance to Indian rulers to become powerful. This led to, in 1790 and 92, Third Anglo-Mysore War. Third Anglo-Mysore War. Now with this, they witnessed that Tipu Sultan is becoming very powerful. He is going to become very much threat to East India Company presence in India. Lord Cornwallis brought once again Nizam, Marathas on his side, British versus Tipu Sultan. You may ask the question that why Indian rulers are supporting British instead of Indian ruler? Because these people only fighting with each other. British are just taking advantage of the fights within Indian. That's why when Indians are not united, that gave chance to the British. That is how it happened. Now Tipu Sultan was defeated. 50% of the territories of Tipu Sultan were taken by British. Now you see this, British have taken many territories. They gave small territories to Marathas and Nizam. Remaining territories they have kept. This treaty is known as Treaty of Seringapatam. Seringapatam was the capital of Mysore Kingdom. This is what happened, Treaty of Seringapatam in 1792. So 50% of his territory is gone. Now Tipu Sultan is like a wounded tiger. He used to say like it is better to live like a tiger one day rather than living 1,000 years like a sheep. So he is never going to surrender. He wants to take revenge and wants to get back his territories. He once again prepared for next round of struggle that led to Fourth Anglo-Mysore War. Fourth Anglo-Mysore War in 1799. This time, Governor General is Lord Wellesley. Let me show you Lord Wellesley. He is the Governor General. Identify. Governor General of Presidency of Fort William. Fort William means here Calcutta. 1798 to 1805. At this point of time, due to French Revolution, there was a military leader. Like I already explained in the beginning itself, whenever continuous wars are there, military generals are going to become powerful. In France also, continuous wars were going on in the revolutionary phase. There one military general became very powerful. That military general was Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon wanted to fight with English, and even there was a plan to come to India also to fight with East India Company. As I said, whenever something happened in Europe, that affects India also. Here also, French people are there, East India Company, English people are there. They once again resume the power. They once again resume the fight. Because of this, Wellesley felt that whoever were allies, whoever were friends of France, he wants to crush them. Tipu Sultan is friend of France and he wanted to completely eliminate his threat. That's why, in the name of protecting East India Company interest in India, in order to protect from French danger, he wanted to eliminate the friends of France in India. That's where, in 1799, Fourth Anglo-Mysore War started. Even Tipu Sultan was killed in this battle. So this is what this war, Fourth Anglo-Mysore War, happened. Lord Wellesley, he was the Governor General of Calcutta or Fort William. In 1799, Tipu Sultan, he felt he don't want to give up. He was asked to surrender. He used to tell like, I will not surrender. I will fight till my death. I will try to protect my kingdom. He fought like a brave soldier and he got killed also. After that, Mysore kingdom was taken over by the British completely. They have taken the territories and the small kingdom was given to earliest dynasty, that is Wadayar dynasty. Now, this is what the story began from here, that ended once again here. Wadayar dynasty, after Vijayanagara Empire, Wadayar dynasty, it created independent kingdom. In between, Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan were ruling. After that, East India Company defeated and killed, and Wadayar dynasty once again resumed. East India Company used to have this kind of arrangement. They will not take over these territories completely because they needed a support, they need a mass. They don't want to take that much administrative burden. Rather, they want to create puppet rulers so that their interest will be always served. In this way, Mysore was under Wadayar dynasty, but they have taken a lot of territories. They did not share with the Nizam also, they did not share with the Marathas also. They expanded their power. That is why by 17, British India or British Empire in 17, British Empire in 1800. Let us see images. If there is some kind of image, these are. British Empire. Identify this. Do you see? Mysore Kingdom is there. They kept Mysore Kingdom under Wadayar dynasty, but they have taken all the territories surrounding it. They control the sea because this is their lifeline. In the middle, they will keep, but they are going to depend on East India Company. This is how they are very good in diplomacy. They create kingdoms so that they needed some supporters. They kept supporters, but they are not powerful. In this way, Mysore Kingdom also became their ally of East India Company. Their rule established indirectly. This is how 4 times Anglo-Mysore War took place. All right. So with this, we have completed another area, that is Anglo-Mysore War. All right. The IAS Mentor is going to come up with a mentorship program. Please keep following the IAS Mentor channel. Thank you. Thank you very much.